right, guys, welcome to Wake Up Real Estate for what's today? It is April 18th, 2024. Go ahead and hit the buttons, the like button, the subscribe. There's a little bell there on YouTube. You can hit that so you're notified about all our new episodes and videos. Flying solo today here for our Tech Tip Thursday. Josh had an appointment. I think his business is ramping here in the spring, and I hope it is for you too if you're watching. I'm seeing a few less people here lately, so hopefully that means the market's being nice to you and you're nice and busy. Anyway, let's jump right into the social post of the day, and then I'm going to mess around with some smart campaign stuff in kvCORE, but the stuff that I'm going to talk about is relevant to any CRM. We'll just talk about some smart campaign best practices for drips for our Tech Tip Thursday, because there's some technical stuff that's involved with that. And frankly, that's just what I've been working on. And it was an easy thing to prepare for today because that's what's on my mind. So let's just look at a social post. As some of you guys know, I've been working on this transaction funnel series. The videos for that are over on the Inside Real Estate channel. And there's a playlist over there you can check out. But as that's been on my mind, one of the things that I'm thinking about a lot is how to do the follow-up for that niche. And this is a social post, whether you're working that niche or not, that you can do anytime. And all it is 6 properties have been reported sold in Gulfport over the past week or so. Here are the addresses and published selling prices. If you're curious about what your house might sell for in today's market, text "what's mine worth" to. And I was lazy this morning. I literally just put my own cell number on there instead of going and finding the kvCORE smart number. So as you can see, this is a way that you can generate listing leads and also kind of give people a way to text you if they have a question about any of these transactions that you're posting. But this is very easy to do. Go into the MLS, run a quick search for what's sold in the last week, and you could repeat this post once a week. Or you could even just do it anytime there's a new sale in your farm. You could look every morning, and if there's a new sale, just run a quick social post about it. So easy little social post today. Go ahead, maybe if you want to, go grab some of those transactions that have happened in your market and post them to your socials. All right, so the topic at hand, where do I have my notes? I actually did make notes. I prepared minimally for this. And I was just going to kind of walk through some stuff related to creating, I'm calling them smart campaigns because that's the kvCORE terminology, but really, drip campaigns, right? It's probably the more common word, where you generate a lead and then you do some stuff automated to help engage the lead. Before I jump into this, though, I will say that I'm a firm believer that the best drip campaign in real estate, no matter what kind of lead you have, are automated property alerts. I just love them. So going all the way back to like 2004, 2005, I was using something called SOAR NMLS. Comment down below if you remember that. I think it was called SOAR, and then they were bought by House Values, and I was paying House Values a bunch of money, and then that turned into Market Leader, and all you guys know the story. But basically, that one idea that you automatically send listings to people has probably generated more business in this industry than anything, right? Just getting those listing alerts, because it's the one thing that people are the most likely to engage with that doesn't require you to create a lot of original content. So I do that little kind of spiel about that to say that if you at least set all your leads up, even if they're not a lead per se, even if it's just your grandma and you're sending her $1 million beach houses for fun, if you do that bare minimum, it's a good way to stay top of mind, and you almost don't even need a smart campaign or drip campaign like I'm talking about to get some kind of results. But let's go into the topic at hand there, though, here, and not cop out with automated alerts. Let's actually do some more strategic stuff to follow up with the new leads we're getting. So I have some bullets here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of jump into the kvCORE dashboard and talk about each of these as we go, and you guys go ahead and comment with any questions you might have, or thoughts you might have related to this, because I'm sure I'm missing a few things. So the first thing that I have here is always give the lead magnet or thing that was opted in for via email ASAP. So basically, what that means is if you're running a Facebook ad or a Google ad, or you're paying for Zillow leads or whatever it might be, and you're having leads injected into your CRM some form or some way, it always makes sense to send the person that thing right away, because as we know, we're all distracted these days. And if somebody opts in for something, if you opt in for something, you might look at it for, 2 seconds and then get distracted, right? The doorbell rings or the phone rings or something like that. So you want to make sure that they have that asset in their inbox. So I made a mistake here. I thought I had this all up and ready to show the smart campaign. I have to just go find it again here. Just give me 1 second. was going to do this this demo based on this transactions campaign that I'm building out for context on all this. So I just need to click myself back into this. So here is the email example. The scenario here is that somebody is opting in to get a list of transactions, staying with our theme, in Gulfport. And then my subject line is literally like your Gulfport transactions list. Like, here is the thing you just requested, right? So you wouldn't want the subject line to be, "Hi, nice to meet you," right? Or something like that. Or you know, the worst thing you could do is be like, "A little bit about me. I'm a realtor," because we see a lot of agents do that. Don't do that. The first contact should be you delivering on the promise of the thing that you just offered to start building that trust that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. And this first email is kind of important in that sense. So your Gulfport transactions list. "Hi, thanks for requesting the list of the latest real estate transactions in Gulfport." And then literally, like, you can click here to access the list now, right? So this link should go to the same exact thing that they just downloaded through your landing page, right? In this case, it was a transactions list that's living on a custom page on kvCORE. I'll also be sending you updates about any recently listed and sold transactions in the area every weekend. So the reason I'm saying this part is because on the landing page itself, I don't know, you guys want me to find the landing page? I don't know how much time we have here today, but let me, I'll show you the landing page. On the landing page itself, I say that is going to happen. So that's why, if I go to past landing pages here, by the way, just a tech tip is that you can go look at your past landing pages now in kvCORE. It wasn't always a thing. So if I come back here and then I can view that last landing page, you see the subheadline says, "Get a weekly email update of published sold prices of homes your neighbors are selling," right? So we kind of said that was going to happen. So my email where I give the thing, I also remind them that I'm going to be sending you updates. And then I give an easy way out. I don't know if this is very necessary. Just reply back or click the unsubscribe link anytime if you don't want to receive them, right? It kind of hammering point the point home. And then I have this coming from the broker Delia. And then this is important. You know, we always want to have a PS, right? And what I'm doing with my PS is I'm trying to move the lead further along in the process that I want them to go down, right? The real reason we're doing this transactions list campaign is because we want listing leads. And a great way to start a conversation around listing leads is to start the conversation about what's your house worth. Incidentally, a lot of like seller lead generation these days is around that what's your house worth idea. In this particular campaign, we're going a little side angle. We're going transactions list, and now we're going to work on getting the what's your house worth conversation going. So it's a little bit of a longer term play. So if you want to also reply back to this email and let me know your street address, I'll send you a custom detail report that shows what a buyer might pay for your Gulfport area home in today's market. You might be pleasantly surprised by the number. I threw that in there. You know, we always got to be thinking about what's in it for you. So when you can, give them a reason why. And a reason why could be that the thing they're getting is really cool, or you might just get a happy feeling because of this. You might be pleasantly surprised, right? So, you know, we're always trying to sell. Everything we do should be as intentional as possible. And I thought this was a good one to throw in there. Let me know what you think. Does it make sense to kind of, hey, you might like this thing, you know, here's why you want to do it. Or, you know, better might be, you know, you might find that you have more equity than you expected. That would be another way to say pleasantly surprised, but I went with the feeling here. So that's the first email. Always send the thing, but I just gave you a couple of little hacks and tips. Within that, sending that thing, you have the opportunity to sell more and build a relationship a little further. Another good one on a first email is, if you're sending like a property list, is to say, P.S. If you want to reply back and let me know a little bit more about your search criteria, I'll go handpick 2 or 3 listings that I think might be perfect for your situation, right? So you're offering to do a little extra work. Whenever I got a lead when I was a buyer's agent on like a 42% split on a team in Philly, I remember how much time I used to spend because we didn't have the same tech. But I would literally, every time I got a lead from the team leader, I would go and proactively pick out 3 listings. It was crazy now that I think about it. But I would pick out a few listings, like 2 or 3, and I would email it to that person without them even asking, that hand-picked idea. And man, that worked so well. People really appreciated that because they could tell that you like put a little extra work in for them. And of course, at that point in 2004 or 2005, everybody and their brother wasn't emailing people real estate listings. So it really stood out. So this is a little tangent there. You know, offer to do, I guess what I'm saying is offer to do a little extra related to whatever you're doing. Okay. So that's that. Always get the lead magnet or thing that was opted in for email ASAP. Let me check the comments here. No comments so far. Good. Other than some good mornings. Good morning, George. Good morning, Renee. Good morning, Lo. And good morning, Mike. Let's get these comments going. All right. So next thing I have here is try a conversational text to confirm and or ask an engaging question. So call these like conversation starters when you can, right? To try to get a quick reply back, and text messaging is a nice way to do this. So let's go down further here in this campaign. And I went really simple here with this idea. Hi, thanks for requesting the Gulfport transactions list. Did you get the link okay? And you'd be surprised. A lot of people will say, no, I didn't see it, right? Because they clicked off the Facebook ad or whatever, and they didn't continue after the lead form, or they just ran away from their computer right away, or their internet was slow and it took too long and they went and did something else, right? The page took 3 seconds to load and that was too quick. So this is always a good one to send. You could also do something like, thanks for requesting the thing. Just curious, or are you looking to move soon, or just browsing for now? Or just curious, are you looking for a house to live in, or are you an investor? So you've seen Josh and I talk about these kind of conversation starting questions all the time. You just definitely want to try to get that into your drip campaign. And in this case, you can see here in kvCORE, I just have it going out 4 minutes later. So it's kind of like a few minutes goes by and then they get this text from you, and it feels, you want it to kind of feel like you hand typed it. I think a lot of people know we're using automation these days, but if you got this text, it kind of feels like you just hand typed it. And Josh does texting Tuesday every Tuesday. A lot of times you'll see like there's lowercasing going on or strange punctuation. You know, you want this text to be worded the way that you would talk to a friend, almost like just casual. So, you know, something like this, we generated thousands of those waterfront leads for a few years, and we had a 32% response rate to a similar question like that. That's pretty good if you can get 1 out of 3 people who come in as a lead to actually text you back with their phone, right? Because a lot of them are going to be fake numbers anyway, but you know, it's a good best practice to do in your smart campaigns. And just keep in mind here in the kvCORE system, you can, set the time value. Another thing I want to point out, there's a little bit of just a tangent. Did you know you can send yourself reminders with kvCORE and probably other CRMs? So you could actually add an item in here. You see this you could do from system. You could also do it from your lender as well. You can send text from them as well. But you can send from system to yourself. So if I got rid of the agent here and I did system, get rid of to agent. That's pretty interesting. You could also do from system to your lender to let your lender know about the lead, and then merge in. See this there's a little thing here, set add a merge type, merge in details about the lead. This is a little tangent. So say you wanted to set yourself a reminder 24 hours later, right? You don't like to call everybody right away because it's, they're not hot to trap, but maybe you want to have a reminder every day to call the leads that you got yesterday, right? Just for whatever reason you're doing this. I don't know if it's the best practice. You could be like, yo, Ryan, give Joe Schmo a call, and then merge in his phone number into this reminder to yourself as part of the wider smart campaign. So little tech tip there, little tangent off of the presentation, but this is the theme today. We're talking about tips around smart campaigns. All the emails I'm sending now are from agent to contact, but I think that's kind of a cool feature in kvCORE. That's like a little Easter egg that people don't use enough, right? Okay, so there's that. Somebody comment, let me know what you think. I'm gonna kind of like ask for comments here, just to see how we're doing so far. I have push a related offer call to action a few days later. Now you saw that I did it in the first email in the PS. Now we can do it again a few days later. So you can see day 3 here. I have Gulfport transactions offer home value. So let's go look at this. So check your Gulfport homes value. So this subject line is very relevant probably to somebody who opted in. Thanks, George. Somebody who opted in. Somebody who opted in for a transactions list, probably a homeowner in the area. 3-4 days later, they get this offer. Check your home's value. Hi, if you're curious about what your Gulfport area property might be worth today, we've got a tool on our website that'll give you an automated computer generated estimate. You can check out the tool by clicking here. So what are we linking to? We're just linking to our sell list, our sell page on our kvCORE site. A lot of you guys use iList. You would link to iList or something like that. That's interesting. Yeah, Lo, I can certainly share the token for this particular campaign on the Wake Up website for sure. I'll put it with the replay of this episode on the site. I'll just put it below the video in the description and right after I'm done today, but we'll definitely do that. Just so you guys know, a little tech tip with respect to kvCORE in particular, and I think other CRMs do this. You can share campaigns between yourself and your other team members or other people who are coaching stuff like I'm doing right now. You can actually get a campaign code and share that. That's what Lo's referencing right there. Okay, so the email says you can check out my automated valuation tool, or I think this is a little thing. I'm proud of this one. Or you can reply to this email with your address, and I'll create you a more accurate human-generated report, right? Let's separate ourselves from those automated tools and say, I'll get you a human-generated report. Thanks. And then Delia right there. So that is that. And I have Delia here for the name, but I'm really kind of making a mistake here, guys. A best practice would actually be to actually merge in agent first name like that. I'm doing that wrong so that whoever's using this campaign, it comes from them, not just the broker. So little tip there, merge, especially if you have a team or other people you're working with, merge things in when possible so you don't have to go recreate these whole campaigns. You know, kvCORE will allow you to use the same campaign for all the agents on your team or office. So let's see, I have to save over the current template, give it a new name because I made some edits. Okay. So that tip is they came in for transactions list, offer them the home value. Let's say somebody comes in and they check their home value. Maybe 5 days later, you're offering them a list of investment properties. Let's say somebody came in and they opted in for a list of starter homes. Maybe 4 or 5 days later, you offer them a list of mortgage programs with low down payment options. So, you're trying to give value, but also hit from a few different angles that might get the person to reply. And I should say that the biggest best practice here with these smart campaigns is really you're just trying to get a conversation in the first few days from somebody who is actually pretty close to being ready, willing, and able right now. That's a small percentage of the leads you get, but by having a campaign like this in place, you're ensuring that you at least get them talking to you and maybe not a competitor. Because a lot of your competitors, all they're going to do is have the opt-in. Mostly what they're going to do is they're going to send a welcome email. They might even forget to send the thing. They'll probably send a welcome email talking about how much they love real estate and all their designations and how cool they are and how much experience they have, right? And all that stuff. They don't jump right into the thing that the person wanted. So if you can do a campaign like this that actually is just constantly giving value and in a friendly way, offering other ways to engage, you can win that way. The next thing I have here is use dynamic list links when relevant. So this can go two ways, and I'll explain what I mean by this. Link back to the same, I'm going to say, use dynamic links when relevant for repeat content. And this will make sense in a second. So for repeat content, link back to the page with the resource if it updates. So let's use our transactions list example. Let's say that I have one page or I have a category of blog posts or I have a Google Doc or something like that where I'm keeping all my transactions as a running list and I'm updating that once a week. Well, if I didn't want to send an email once a week with the latest transactions, I could simply have myself or have an assistant updating that page or that Google Doc. And then my drip email, my smart campaign, could actually keep sending the same exact email every week that just says, hey, here's your updated list of transactions in Gulfport, right? So all you need to do is update that list, but you don't have to actually send the email because the drip campaign is going to do it. Or you can link to dynamic search results for specific property lists. So that would be, say somebody opted in for that starter homes list. You could say, hey, here's the latest link to the starter homes. Well, if you run a kvCORE, or most IDX providers will do this, if you run a search for that on your website, that link for the search usually will show all the latest properties. So in theory, you could send the same email over and over again. So let me just do this in practice. I'm gonna, whoops. Yeah, here's a Google Doc I had made as a demo for this. So you can see it has some screenshots of the latest properties. But let's say in theory that you're updating this doc, right? It just says, here's all the latest, and you're adding to the top of it any latest transactions. It's a little bit of work. You spend 5 minutes a week doing this, right? 10 minutes a week. And then you share this. I copy the link to share it. Now I can go into my Smart Campaign here. I can add a new action. It could be an email or a text or whatever. Weekly transaction list link, right? And in my subject line be your latest transaction, the latest weekly Gulfport transactions update. Oh, something like that, right? Hi, here's the latest. You can click here now to see the latest Gulfport real estate transactions. Let me know if you have questions about any of these, or you want a detailed report about the value of your home. Thanks. And then here we'll merge in again, agent first name. Okay. So this click here now, I'm going to put my link in to my Google Doc, or it could have been a property search if I was doing like starter homes or foreclosures or whatever I'm doing. And then I could do, the name is weekly update. kvCORE makes you enter like the thing that it's like 5 times you have to type the same thing in, but from agent to contact. And then time unit, we'll do 7 days. So this is 7 days after they opt in, they're going to get a link to the latest transactions, right? Now here's where this gets cool. So I have it on day 7. I wish I could just copy this. That would be even cooler if I could just duplicate this action. Maybe I'll put in a request for that, because that would actually kind of be cool. But either way, it's easy to do. I can just do add action email. I look for the template. Oh, come on, kvCORE. I wonder if there's some caching or something. It's not finding that template that I just made for weekly. Oh, you know why? It's my fault. I called it the wrong thing. Okay. I will not blame the system. So what I'm trying to do is find that template in my dropdown, and I'm trying to figure out if I made a mistake or if the system just takes a minute for that template to show up there. So I'm going to use another one that I've made in the past. See this weekly deals link update? I'm sure if I refresh the page, or I gave it like 5 minutes, and I wasn't moving so fast, I'd be okay. But weekly deals links update, your weekly Pinellas deals links. Here are your weekly update links. So what I'm saying is you could repeat that same exact email over and over again, but just change the time value here. I think you guys are following what I'm saying, right? So I would send that same exact transactions list update on day 14, day 21, day 28, and you could spend 10 minutes just repeating that and build out the promise of sending those transactions weekly as part of your Smart Campaign. You following? Hopefully everybody's following that. So let me refresh here, because I do want to actually show. So it says weekly update. What did I call this? Yeah, weekly transaction list is the name. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't make a mistake. So let me add a new email. And then if I type in weekly, oh, there it is. I think I had to refresh the page. And now you see it populated that whole same email again. And I can just pick 14 days, right? And little annoying. I have to do this step again. But you can see, like, you know, how long would it take to do that and to build out a few months of updates? Not long, right? Of course, if you're doing something weekly like this, you could also manually send it every week, which is fine as well and might be better. But I just wanted to show you this concept of doing the dynamics. You could also add in, hey, here's a fun property list. You know, here's all the latest listings to have come on the market in Gulfport, and send that every like 3 weeks or something like that. So, so that's that tip. I'm going to stop here and answer a quick question. What are we doing for time? Yeah, we'll probably wrap this up here in the next few minutes. Lena's asking, is there a particular reason you used a long link in your social media posts? But yeah, a lot of times when you see me using a long link, it's because I was lazy and I ran the search on the front end of the site instead of going into the squeeze into the build squeeze page functionality and grabbing the short link. So a lot of times I'm doing my social posts of the day on the fly, like 5 minutes before we start, and that's why. But yeah, the short link is probably a best practice, the better way to do it, or use a proper link shortening tool like Rebrandly or T.ly or something. But I don't overthink those like social posts, because you're not expecting to get a lot of clicks and engagement on those links. Really, you're doing that just to remind people you're in the industry. So I don't stress so much about those. If I was running an ad, I definitely wouldn't put a long link in. I would try to do something that's easy for people to remember or see, you know, and might even buy a custom domain for those. So cool. So where's our doc here? So a few other tips here. Zaps and webhooks can be your friend. I just wanted to point out, and this becomes a lot longer topic, but remember that within Smart Campaigns with most CRMs, you can do other things. So right here, you have webhook and Zapier. You can actually now, come to think of it, just a little extra tech tip, you can now, even in thanks.io, bypass Zapier and directly hook people into a thanks.io mailing list from kvCORE, for example. So if I have a test list here and you scroll down to the left, you'll see recipient add webhook. We built this for high-level users. For any of you who are using high-level type stuff, iList is actually high-level under the hood. But you can click here and say copy kvCORE specific code, like so, down at the bottom, and you can do a webhook. Here, I'll just do it. And enter a URL like that, and basically send the data of the lead over to thanks.io. So I'm not going to dig deep on that now, but just know that in your smart campaigns, you can make your smart campaigns talk to other platform solutions, either via webhooks or via Zapier. So that's just another tip there. Just put that in the back of your head and know that it's a technique that you can use. Also remember, you can do things like core video in kvCORE, which is a native integration with BombBomb. And then the last tip I had was this idea of adding tags after a certain amount of time and triggering other campaigns. I am losing my voice, bummer. And triggering other campaigns. So let's just say that on 180 days into this, right? I don't know, 90 days, whatever it might be. Say 90 days in, I want this person to end up on another smart campaign in the system. I could use a hashtag like longer term follow-up, and I can add that hashtag to the contact record as an action in the campaign. So this might feel abstract, but just to say at 90 days, I want this hashtag to be added to this contact. Well, from there, what's cool is that I can then have another campaign that is triggered based on that hashtag. So you following? Let's say, I have my short-term campaign, but if they don't reply to me at all and nothing good happens and they're still kind of going along and they're ghosting me or whatever, I haven't heard from them, I can transfer them to a longer-term campaign by having a longer-term nurture campaign that is triggered by that hashtag. So I would add a new campaign here, and I'd say, hey, trigger this when longer term nurture is assigned to that lead. So that's just a little extra tip here. But I don't want you guys these last few are kind of like the technical, more advanced in the weeds stuff. Most of your money and results are going to be gotten by just following some of the first best practices I mentioned here. Give the lead magnet right away. Try to cross-sell into something else that they might be interested in, like a home value report or something like that. Use conversational texting, things like that. One thing you don't want to do, I'm going to close this out by saying, is don't stress about building out a 3-year drip campaign. I see so many people posting on social media or even asking me directly, like, hey, where can I get a long-term nurture campaign for real estate? And I just think it's a waste of time to think in terms of that, because any pre-canned content you get isn't going to feel fun and exciting and relevant to the recipient. Instead, have a short-term campaign like this that's designed to get them just talking to you at first. Use a few automated tricks to maybe send some dynamic links over time. Sure, that's fine. But the longer term nurture really is about you creating unique content and then sending that out en masse using other functionality in your CRM, like Josh does every Friday with his newsletter, for example. Because if you actually create original content every week and you send that, you're going to get a lot more conversions than trying to do the canned thing. So that's kind of like my high horse pitch, my rant about this, if you call it a rant, is that your smart campaigns, you should be thinking about short and sweet. And if you're going to do long-term nurture, maybe you have a separate campaign for that you just transfer people over into who haven't, responded to your best stuff. But the best long-term campaign is going to be the unique thing you send. And those automated property alerts, that's another good long-term campaign. It's easy to execute. So thank you guys for the feedback, Dennis and Renee. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. Yeah, we'll get this up on the channel. It's instantly available for replay. And Lo has requested I'll get the share code for this going on the underneath the video, wherever you guys are watching this video, in the description or whatever for this particular campaign. We'll be back tomorrow. Josh and I will do follow-up Friday. Next week, we'll mention this tomorrow, I'm at a conference. We got the Boomtown, I forget what it's called. It's called the Unite Conference. If any of you are near Charleston, I think you can still get tickets to that. I'll be in person at Unite in Charleston, South Carolina for the week. So we won't have a show, and I think Josh is busy, but we will be sending you emails in the morning with some updates and things like that. And then we'll probably be back the week after that. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. And we'll see you tomorrow morning, same bat time, same bat channel with both Josh and I. Have a good one.